today we are here to discuss Fire Tower. So, Dragon Mother couldn't be here today, so instead we have Sarah. She's joining us. So we played this the other night after Mommy went to bed, right? Because she goes to bed early. But we wanted to share with you our thoughts on this game. So, this game, it was a 2019 release, and the Fire Tower game, the base Fire Tower. The expansion, Rising Flames, released in 2020. Board Game Geek rating for this is 7.2. The rank is 3105. It's a 2 to 4 player game. Average length is 15 to 30 minutes. Age 14 and up, but Sarah is 8, and she played just fine. She needed a little guidance on strategy, but apart from that, she did fine playing. Designed by Samuel Bryant and Gwen Ruel. Art by Kevin Ruel, and published by Runaway Parade Games. Now, I don't see this available to a lot of the retailers. The only one I found it on was Amazon. The base game on Amazon is $47. The expansion is $26. And those are actually being sold through third party, which is actually the manufacturer of the game, or the publisher of the game, Runaway Parade Games. So you're getting it direct. I did find Rising Flames at Noble Games for $39.95, so it's actually cheaper buying it direct from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
And I found the base game $50 to $85 on the Geek Market on Board Game Geek, also still cheaper to buy directly from Amazon from the manufacturer. So that's the stats. So let's talk about the quality of components. So this was an eye catcher at Gen Con. It's one of the games I was eyeing, but from a distance, but never got around to playing or demoing, and I kind of regretted afterwards. I heard a lot of people talking about it. So you get these nice fire pieces that come in the base game. Now you get a central flame in. This is part of the expansion. It replaces a token that you can use in the middle. It's basically an arrow. That's a wooden arrow.
Yeah.
We like the fire better because it's more thematic. But these are really nice resin pieces, similar to what you would find in Ascension or other games. The cards actually do have a linen finish. They're nice stock. They're a little thin, but not bad. But they have a nice feel to them. The board, however, I think is a little bit lacking. It curls a little bit on the edges. It doesn't really have any kind of a trim. It just goes off to the edge, and it's just kind of basic.
Yeah.
You do get some nice wooden bits. You get these little markers to put on there. There are these purple markers, and
then you get some buckets.
Yeah, the buckets are part of the Rising Flames expansion. We did not play with the expansion, so I'm not sure what these are for, other than you get a bucket card, but they look cool in front of you to mark that this is your player color.
They do.
So that's about the only thing I know that we did with them. We just had them sitting there, but they looked fine. They
look pretty.
And then you get some thin cardboard sheets that you can put. These do have a linen finish, like it's almost cardstock, I would say, more than cardboard. But they're used at the end of game to replace and mark that you burned one of the others, because this is definitely a take that game where you attack each other.
Yeah.
And you're trying to burn down each other's towers. Why? I have no idea. There's no real backstory. You're just trying to burn each other down.
Yeah. And I actually won, even though that I ate. I beat Daddy. Well, yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, savor your victory, little one. All right, so as far as quality components, what do you think?
Well, I really like the game. The board, yeah, not so good. I do like the cards. The bucket I love it. And it even has a little holder.
Yep.
I mean, it's like a real bucket.
Yep. So, what about we got the flame?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, I think it could be better, but I don't know how.
I think it looks fine. What would you give it overall?
I would give it like a 7.9.
Okay, well, I'm right with you. I think I'm going to probably go ahead and give this a 7.5. I think it's got a lot of nice, good bits to it, but I think there's like the board being what it is, and some of the card stock being so thin, it could have been a little better, but I think it's still decent. So let's talk about the theme. I really don't understand why you're burning each other down. You're trying to set each other's towers on fire.
Fire towers, so.
Yeah, well, usually a fire tower is used to look out for fire and to put out fires, not to start fires and try to burn each other down. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. But it's an abstract game. It's not supposed to make a lot of sense. It's really
fun.
Yeah, it's a puzzler as far as getting your fire to go the direction you want it to go to try to invade each other's territories and burn their towers down.
Yeah.
There's not much more to it than that. And they give you a little synopsis, and there's no explanation as to why you're trying to burn each other down. It just goes straight into the fact that you are. So, yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but... You know, it's pretty. I'll give you that. It's got a table presence. I mean, when I walk past this at Gen Con, 2 aisles, well, not really 2 aisles, on the other side of the aisle, I could see the orange glow of these flames, and it attracted my attention. And I never made it over to give it a try. So I was it's one of the few things I kind of regretted. I missed out on trying there. So. Yeah, I think it's very pretty. It has a nice table presence, especially when you add in the expansion. The expansion actually has some fire birds or phoenix in it. We haven't tried those yet.
What are they for?
Don't know. I haven't read the rules for the expansion, so don't really know. But we just took the best bits out of that box and used them in the game.
Yeah.
So I think all in all, the theme for me, I think it's a pretty game. I don't think it makes any sense. I will probably give it probably a 6.5 is where I'm at thematically. I think that it has a nice, attractive presence, but it's just really layered on. It has no real explanation why.
I'm going to give it a little higher score. I like the theme.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense. But it's fun. That's the whole point.
You just like burning Daddy down.
So I'm actually going to give it a 7.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about the rulebook. So it comes with a 8-page rulebook, and it's all set in black and orange. Stands out very strongly when you're looking at it.
I see pictures.
Yeah, it has some small pictures of the contents of the box.
Yeah.
Then it goes straight into the setup and basically how do you burn a tower and how do the cards play. It's a very simplistic game once you actually get to playing it, but it doesn't need to be complex. There is a FAQ on the back if you have any questions that happen to be the common ones that are asked. So yeah, I mean, it's an easy read, and it's not like the font is not great. It's not large, but it's decent size. It's not horribly bad. Some of the examples are a little small as far as the font, and you might have to squint a little bit if you have bad eyes like me. So yeah, I think all in all, I'll probably go ahead and give this rulebook a 7.5. I think it's simple, to the point, and it has just enough clarification to get what you need, but it has a little bit issue with being a little small in some of the examples.
And it could be better.
Well, yeah, anything could always be better, but yeah, it's not a bad rulebook. All right, so let's talk about gameplay. So in this game, you get how many cards?
You get 5. I'm the one that remembered.
You get 5 cards to start the game, and these cards will be hidden from your opponents. You also start the game by rolling the die to determine, and it's really nice, pretty marble die, It's not really marble, but it's faux marble. And it determines which direction the wind's blowing. So in this case, it's blowing to the west. So we turn the flame so it's pointing towards the west.
And it does have north, east, south, and west if you don't know.
Yeah, and they also have a cheat sheet board that you can put on there in two different sides. You got one that has the standard compass, or you can turn it over and it's got kind of a pretty greenery. But you would, the only thing is it's angled the wrong direction, so you would have to put it that way. But it helps you if you're trying to figure out which way things go. Or you can set it off the side of the board and use it too. But there's a lot of ways you can identify which is west, north, east, and south. So we're going to point this flame to the west. So whoever first player is, the first thing they're going to do is place a fire somewhere adjacent, horizontally or vertically, but it has to go to the west. So since we're starting out, it would have to go in one of the two spaces adjacent to the flame. So we'll put it here. Now, in this case, I'm blue, and my tower is over here. So I want the flames to go away from my tower. So the west is a good thing for me because it's going that direction. So then I'm going to I get to play a card from my hand. Now there's several types of cards. You have directional cards that let you change the direction of the flame. These are very important because if the flame comes at you, you want to turn it away from you.
Yeah, or you can roll a dice.
Yeah,
or you can roll the dice
if it's not the direction, like it's going to turn towards you and you don't like the direction, another option you can do when you play one of these directional cards is you can play it, ignore the direction on it, and roll the die and hope for the best. Okay. So another thing you can do is you can play the card for the direction and place one fire gem in the direction, in this case east, of an existing fire gem. So if I wanted, I could play this card and I could play a flame this way. Now I wouldn't do that because my tower is this way, so I wouldn't want to send a flame that way, but you could do that.
Yeah, that's true.
So the other type of card you have is a fire card. Fire cards will let you place in a fire in a pattern that's depicted on the card. So in this case, it's a four individual flames in a square.
And like in this one, it's flare up and you can do 3 in 1 row.
3 in 1 row. So they have different shapes. So I can play these. They have to go adjacent to an existing flame, not diagonal, but they have to go, at least one of these 4 has to be adjacent. So I wanted to continue. I could play this card and I could play 4 flames this direction, or I could do it any direction. It doesn't have to be to the same direction as the wind when you play one of these cards. You could play them wherever. So if Sarah were purple and I wanted to go towards Sarah, I could put them over here.
Hey.
I'm just demoing, so I'm showing them what you can do. So there's lots of options. So another card you can play is a water card, and they have, similar to the flame, in this case, it's a pattern of water that you can drop, and you have to do them in the shape that is in there. When you drop water, all you're doing is removing flame from the board. So in this case, I could do 3 in a row. Even if they're not occupied, I could do these 2 and not do a third, but it'd be kind of a waste because it'd be better to get rid of 3 at once.
Yeah.
But I can remove them from the board, and they will no longer be able to be played until someone builds the flame back. So this is how you can keep flames from attacking your tower.
There's also a purple one.
Yes.
And it means that you can
build
there's different
barricades.
stuff.
Well, they all are to build barricades. So that's where these purple tokens come in. So these purple tokens let you place fire breaks. And you have to place them again in the pattern that's depicted. Now, in these cases, once you've played the pattern, you're not allowed to play adjacent to them. So you cannot make a giant wall that's impenetrable of purple tokens. In this case, there's one that's alternating 2 spaces, so I could put them anywhere on the board I want. So I could play them 1 space apart, like that. If I played another card, I could not play them right next to it because that's already down. Now, some of the purple cards will have 2 adjacent to one another. As long as it's on the same card, it's legitimate. But if I try to play another card with 2 next to them, I could not play it next to those 2.
No.
I could do it diagonal, so that it allows someone to go through the middle of them if they were trying to build fire. So it's not preventative of someone being able to reach your tower. It's not like you could build a force field or a wall around your building. But they're useful for preventing, in some cases, the fire from getting to you. If somebody's got the capability of running a fire because of the wind coming at you, it's a good thing to have. So those are the 4 main types of cards. Now, in addition, there are special cards. If you're playing just the base game, you only potentially use the Firestorm. The Firestorm has a little star at the bottom. These are the special cards.
Special.
After you've dealt all your 5 cards to each player, you would then shuffle this into the deck. And when this comes up, the fire intensifies, and you play this card, and then every flame that's on the board, it will get, well, you're going to roll the die, it'll get a new direction, and every flame will get an additional flame in the direction of what you rolled. Then afterwards, you'll roll again and turn the flame a different direction. So this really heats up the board. So firestorms are bad for everyone, especially the person who's downwind of the firestorm.
And you also have to play it straight away.
Yes, it's an event. It happens immediately. So, and then you reshuffle the deck. So it goes back into the deck. So it can happen again.
Well, we didn't, but...
Yes. Yeah, we did. We had 2 of firestorms.
Oh, we did?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, firestorms can be very dangerous. So, and in the game, it can go swing really fast because, like, it looked like I was dominating the game when we played for the first good half or more of the game, and then suddenly the winds changed directions, and I got hammered by you and your papa, right? So I lost. I was the first one out, even though I looked like I was winning. So, this is definitely a game that is, if you don't like kind of take that games, then it can be a cutthroat game. Now, you do also have player elimination in this game. I'm not a big fan of player elimination, but in the case of this one, it's short enough, it doesn't really matter. It's not a big impact. And I don't feel like it's very attacking in the sense that you don't feel like it's punishing. It's not... Yes, people can gang up on you, but it's a short game. It doesn't really feel like it's attacking. And, you know, if you get the right cards, you can change in the direction towards others, too.
Yeah. It
can also be played as teams if you had 4 players, so you could potentially even out, you know, and have enough to go back at the other people. So, you know, all in all, I thought it was a fun, light game. It's not real heavy. It's an easy game to play, and you just keep playing until everybody's towers are burned down except for your own.
Well, if you win.
Well, yeah. If you're the person who wins, you win when everyone else is burned down.
Whoever, yes. Whoever.
So, what did you think of this one, Sarah?
I really love this. I love the gameplay. It's really fun. I think the age difference could be a little more because I had really no trouble.
Yeah, I don't think this requires a 14 and up.
No, I feel like it's like a 7 or up. I feel like.
I don't know about 7. I mean, you do attack each other, and sometimes little ones don't like getting attacked, and they can get upset if you attack them.
Like, you warned me at the beginning.
Yeah. Because sometimes you get upset when you get attacked. So, yeah. So you've got to be willing and able to play without getting upset.
Yeah, but I love the game. In my opinion, it's like one of the funnest games.
All right. So
I would give it about a 9.5.
9.5. Wow, that's a very good score.
Well, I'm very nice to games.
You're very generous. All right, so I'm not going to be that generous. I think it was a good game. I think it's fun. I don't think there's a lot to it. Now, the expansion may add a lot. We have not tried it, so until I get the expansion played, I don't want to, set the game with the expansion may be better than the individual parts.
It might.
But I will say that I still had a good time playing, and I like the fact that it's something I can play with you. And it is in the realm of like a game like chess and a more abstract game because I don't get to play enough abstracts. So given that, I'm probably going to give this a 7.5. I think it's a great fun game.
You've been in the 7.
Well, it's a 7.5 level game for me. I think it's an interesting premise. Don't understand it as far as the theme at all.
No one understands it.
But I think it's visually appealing, and it is engaging, and there's a lot of back and forth in the game. And you think you're winning, and then you're not, and you're suddenly burning, and
it's very confusing. That's literally what we're trying to say.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think it's confusing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it goes back and forth.
Like
and you think you're winning, and then you're not. So I will say there is a catch-up mechanism, but it's not a very strong one. If the flame gets into your territory, you can, when you've got your bucket option that you can use, that will drop water directly on the flame in there.
But you can't like go out there.
No, you can drop it, but it has to have one of them inside your square. After you drop the water, then you flip your card over, and you now have Reckless Abandon. And this is basically a catch-up mechanism. And next time Flyer gets into your territory, then from that point forward, use this card then to play three water cards or 3 purple cards to drop 2 fire gems on someone else. So it's kind of a catch-up mechanism, but we never used it in the game.
No.
We did use our bucket, though, to try to put the water out as a last-ditch effort, but it wasn't enough.
No.
So that's our thoughts on Fire Tower. You loved this game. I enjoyed it. I think it was a fun game. So if you are interested in abstracts, this is one you might want to check out. It is very pretty, and it will definitely shine on your table. So that's what our thoughts. Hopefully you'll join us in the future. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button at the bottom and the notification bell over there, because you don't want to miss out, because we got 3,000 games to get through, and they are just going to keep piling up. So we'll be playing more and more and more. So until next time.
Bye.